Victor Adetiba with ScrumLife.com, back with our What is Scrum book club, where we discuss and demystify Scrum for the masses. This episode is sponsored by Mansa Tech Training Academy, link in the description. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Today we're reading another excerpt from the book, 97 Things Every Scrum Practitioner Should Know, Collective Wisdom from the Experts, edited by Gunther Verheyen. Page 44. Why there are no user stories at the top of your product backlog. James O. Coplian. Words mean things. The words user story suggests something that is a story and in the user space. The term has come to mean a formatted sequence of the form as an X, I want Y because of Z. Some Agile folks take that literally and dutifully write stuff in that format. But more insightfully, Ron Jeffries once correctly pointed out that this shorthand is just an invitation for a future conversation between an end user and a developer. We can breathe a sigh of relief at having restored the possibility of storytelling. Stories are priceless in understanding end user needs. The sprint goal should probably be a potential title or moral of the key user story. But user stories are, so to speak, just the beginning of the story. Perhaps they should be called user riddles. The job of design is to solve the riddle and to deliver an implementation commensurate with the answer. Scrum follows the lean practice of eliminating Muri, i.e. overburden, and instead smoothing out flow. Though a user may come to us with a need, we don't just transform that need into a solution overnight or at some meeting called sprint planning. Business solution design takes time, dialogue, exploration, and feedback. A solution eventually emerges and works its way to the top of the product backlog as an enabling specification. The product owner owns specifications. That is, it is the product owner's responsibility that they be there. They are not specifications of the problem, but of solutions. The product owner doesn't maintain a requirements backlog, but rather a product backlog. The products serve the product owner's vision of the product increments that will generate value, not just of the problem that provides a market opportunity. A single solution might support several user stories, but the opposite isn't true. A good product backlog documents the agreements between stakeholders about what will be delivered, particularly in the near term. The product owner may socialize user stories with stakeholders to create product backlog items and may tag them with user stories. But a proper product backlog item is not a story, it's something the team builds. If a product has a long backlog, 6 or 7 sprints, then some bottom items may be user stories. It's too early to nail down a specific implementation yet. As they come to the top, they become enabling specifications. Good Scrum practice recommends remembering Muri by striving to make the top 3 sprints of the backlog into enabling specifications. And a great Agile Scrum team usually does not have a long backlog, but instead looks 3 or 4 sprints ahead. Anything else is guessing. If a product can look 6 months ahead with certainty, Waterfall probably suits them better than Scrum. So, if your backlog is 7 sprints long, or if it is a list of user stories, you have some Kaizen to do. To look beyond a casual understanding of Scrum to something that really rocks. I think that this reminds us of some things that a lot of Scrum teams forget, and that's that the product backlog really is negotiable, right? Until the team commits to the PBIs, the product backlog items, in a specific sprint, and even then with some grace given to the business or the product owner, everything that's in the product backlog is not fixed and can change. And so I think that it's important for both product owners as well as stakeholders and Scrum teams to remember that things in the product backlog are always in flux. I like to tell teams that I work with that the product backlog is a living, breathing artifact. It's constantly in change. And I think that James's excerpt here reminds us that not just user stories live in that product backlog, but user needs and the things that teams need to implement to deliver those needs. And so there are a lot of people and teams, and even I myself get caught up in this, referring to everything in the product backlog as a user story. But upon closer inspection and further reflection, it's just not true, right? There are a multitude of things that can live in a product backlog and that are ever evolving. So did you enjoy today's episode? Leave me a comment. Tell us what you think. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear from product folks or business folks or development team members. Looking forward to seeing you in our next episode. Thanks.